Careful. You're looking at the most powerful, bloodthirsty, unstoppable force in all of Monster Hunter.
Tosrex, are you okay?
I got it. I don't think I'm going to make it. I'm in so much pain. I can't move my limbs. I'm going to die. Valstrax brought low. What fearsome creature did this?
It was a spider.
A spider?
Hello, my fellow hunters. Welcome, as today, I finally want to talk with Sunbreak on the way through one of my biggest, let's say, problems with Monster Hunter Rise. My biggest pet peeve, my biggest bugbear.
Oh my god, did the bugbear D&D monster come from the expression bugbear?
Okay, maybe this is a pondering for another time. And, well, it's Wyvern Riding. Now, let me be clear. Do I think Wyvern Riding is an absolutely badass mechanic on the surface? I mean, of course it is. You lash a monster down with silk thread. You leap onto its back. You take control as you get comfy in the pilot seat, making it dance to your whims as you play the thread expertly, and the monster can do naught but obey. You then ride into battle against another equally fearsome as beast, and then glorious combat ensues. The winner, standing proud, bellows as he leaves. The loser brought low, scrambling on the floor, the shame of defeat festering in his heart. It is a spectacle, it is fun, it is unique, and it's something that I am so happy they have tried. But, I do have a problem. And it's not necessarily a mechanical one. I do think that it would be nice to not have to Wyvern Ride, and it looks like we are getting that option in Sunbreak, so that kind of solves that. Do I want Wyvern Riding to be it forever, or, you know, back to normal mounting in the next mainline game? Normal mounting, but, you know, Rise, Wirebugs, Wyvern Riding is a really fun, almost side adventure with really fun mechanics, and I'm really happy we've had it, and I honestly won't change that for the world, but I definitely don't think it's the way going forward. I think it's just cool that we've had it. But again, I do have a big problem with it, and it's that it kind of makes powerful monsters look like little bitches.
What the fuck are you talking about?
And you might be there going, what? I really expected some kind of like nuanced, you know, mechanical or gameplay discussion here on like the balancing and the pros and cons. Does it work for the flow of the game, or maybe it's not refined enough or anything? And we're going with monsters looking like little bitches. Is that what we're saying? Yes we are. Wyvern Riding makes these incredibly powerful walking forces of nature little bitches. And it bugs me. It bugs me on a very deep level because I very deeply care about the lore and ecology of Monster Hunter. And I imagine from a few of you that may have got a, does it matter? And I imagine from a few of you I got a, yeah! And everything in between. But look, hear me out here, okay? Hear me out. First and foremost, I don't think that player fun should ever be sacrificed to make something, air quotes, lore accurate in a general sense. That's always going to be true. An enjoyable gameplay experience is first paramount and important. But I do think there are instances where you can push it too far, and for people like me, it actually kinda takes away just a little bit. Even if we ignore the fact you can't even Wyvern Ride Elder Dragons, and I really thought before it first happened that might not be a thing you could do, they seem like something that's way too powerful for you to be able to do that. Even a Teostra could just go full flame all around him and roast the rider. I mean, yeah, they're bound in iron silk, but they're not completely helpless. It doesn't suppress their powers. It doesn't completely shut them down. Like, what is this all-powerful wirebug that is able to dominate every single goddamn monster? That's just already a little bit you know, okay to me. Though as I say this, I now do wonder the implications of if the wire bugs were sort of more dracophagy bugs, had a bit of dragon energy in them, and then they could work towards sort of suppressing a elder dragon's power, and that would kind of aid, like you need super wire bugs to bind elders that are red, and that could be a fun little expansion of the mechanic. But what gets me more than anything is the interplay between monsters when you're fighting Wyvern Riding. So, Monster Hunter Capcom put a lot of effort into the game in making these creatures believable within reason. Just look at Monster Hunter World and, well, the most incredible living, breathing landscapes I think we've ever gotten in a video game. They research real-life animals. They build that, bake that into their creations. It's why monsters are so satisfying to hunt and experience. It's why we get so attached to them. Because whether you're aware of it or not, they trigger the same response that real-life animals tend to do because they have a lot of those mannerisms and sensibilities as part of their core makeup. They're not just monster big raw smash. They are, I'm an animal and I need to eat and hunt. And I guess it's more nuanced than that, but that's my animal need to eat and hunt jingle. And that's really cool. It really is. It's what makes Monster Hunter, or at least contributes massively to it being something truly special that's never quite been replicated anywhere else. It's part of its masterpiece DNA. But with Wyvern Riding, it kind of throws all of that out the window. And to best explain it, look, alright, this situation right here, who do you think is going to win this fight to the death? Yeah, the elephant, obviously. In fact, there's not a single land animal on planet Earth that has the advantage against an elephant, at least in a 1v1. Some animals can get kinda close, but even then, they are basically unstoppable. So, what about now? Do you think the same outcome? Same winner? Yeah, I think so, right? Same winner? I'm gonna go with same winner? Okay. So, tell me why in Monster Hunter terms, we look at this and we're like, okay, I mean, obviously, Valstrax is going to literally smush the Azeroth over there. I mean, obviously, it's like a tier 1 kind of docile honey-eating bear. I mean, bloodless incarnate, sure, but you know what I'm saying. Okay, cool. So, what happens when we do this? Does the answer change? Does suddenly Valstrax become Azeroth's punching bag because he's being directed and controlled by a hunter? Now, you could argue that hunters are so skilled and adept at controlling monsters, applying their own battle tactics and experience in order to make the monster so much more powerful than it ever was before. But even then, there is a limit. There is a limit of how much of a sheer gap in just raw power and strength you can make up from Wyvern Riding. And essentially, if you're charging at an Elder Dragon on an Azeroth, expecting to win that fight, I mean, you shouldn't be. That should end disastrously. But no, we beat down the Elder Dragon, the Azeroth punishes him for being a bad little dragon, and then you get to attack him during the down. And cool, that works mechanically. It works for the gameplay, it works for the pace and the world of Rise. But it really does not work for me as someone who is way more into the monsters than probably someone should be, but hey, I'm not going to be ashamed of it. And I kind of have to ask, how is this even solved? Not that I think it's fair to say it's a literal problem that needs solving, because I imagine most people don't really care that an Azeroth can beat a Valstrax on a Wyvern Ride. It's just a thing that happens, okay, fine. But I really do care. And one of the reasons I do care is actually on a mechanical level, on a gameplay level, on a moment-to-moment fun level. When you're hunting a monster in other Monster Hunter games, and a second monster runs into the zone, it is an interesting moment. It is a mix of surprise, of excitement, of, oh my god, I've got to dodge 2 monsters at once for a bit, Jesus, this is chaos! And it develops into really cool moments that you remember and tell people about. Whereas in Rise, it doesn't matter what monster has run into the zone to interrupt your hunt, in a few seconds, they or the monster you were hunting is going to be Wyvern Riding, you'll have the Wyvern Ride, you'll beat the monster you care about down, and you'll just continue hunting, and all that extra monster arriving has done is just giving you free damage. It doesn't play out any differently. There's no randomness, there's no chaos, there's no fear or exhilaration that should come with 2 massively powerful monsters suddenly piling on top of each other and you. And I think that's the biggest shame from a gameplay point of view. Though, of course, that's outweighed, at least right now, by the novelty of Wyvern Ride. But if it became just the standard going forward, that novelty would, well, stop outweighing it very, very quickly. But in any case, back to the power disparity. That's really quite bad to me, but how do we fix it? Let's see. I am so deeply sorry. In any case, for me, I think you simply need to make it difficult to beat a monster that is stronger than your monster in a Wyvern Ride. And it seems like an obvious solution, but it kind of is an obvious solution. Now, don't get me wrong, getting every individual monster and balancing them against every other individual monster would be a nightmare. It would be not worth the effort, and certainly not something that I would ask for. But I do think it's fair to take every monster and split them into tiers. Like World and Iceborne has tier 1, 2, and 3 monsters. We take every monster in Rise, we give them tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 when it comes to Wyvern Rides, and we simply say that if you're on a tier 1 monster, so like a raptor, and you're fighting a tier 3 monster like an elder dragon, well then you're going to have a harder time. You need to get more hits in. You can take less hits. It actually becomes a little bit of a challenge. Because we have these entire movesets, we have dodges, we have counters, we have wirebug charges, we have a system built in here that can actually allow for and provide some proper reactionary skilled monster fighting gameplay. But it's kind of all ignored because you just get on the monster, you spam heavy attacks 3 times, and then you're done, right? Like, it doesn't need... You don't need to know what forward and light attack does on a monster. You don't need to know what back and heavy does. You don't need to actually learn a monster's moveset, as it were, against another monster. So if we scaled difficulty across 3 tiers, you could have these really badass moments where someone's riding in on a Kula Yaku, and they manage to, over this, like, 30-second long brawl, with their heart pounding, just get to the punish and bring down something like a Kushaladora and have this just wonderful moment of, oh my god, yes, you know, instead of just, okay, it's on the Kula Yaku, everybody sharpen your weapons, Kushala will be down in a moment, you know. Just take away that certainty, make it an actual moment of skill display, make it something important. And on the other end of the spectrum, if you're there on a Kushaladora and you're hunting a Kula Yaku, I don't know how this would happen, but, you know, bear with me. Because you're on a tier 3 monster fighting against a tier 1, you should absolutely smash it. Do loads of damage, one-hit it to the punish state. The punish itself, just crush it, you know? Scale it across the 3 tiers and have almost weight classes, difficulty brackets of Wyvern Ride that are reflected in how easy or difficult it is to beat the opposing monster and get the punish off. Just basically make the monster's actual strength matter in Wyvern Riding. That's what I care about. That's what I think I would most love to see for the Wyvern Ride system, and the fact that the power of a monster is completely ignored. It is as easy to do as much damage as on a Volvodon as it is on a Basil. That just kind of rubs me the wrong way, and it's, again, my deepest, biggest issue flaw with the Wyvern Ride system, and I would love to know if you guys feel similarly, or if you don't give a damn that a Volvodon can tongue lash a Elder Dragon to death, and, you know, quite frankly, enjoy that, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry. Or am I? I'm not sorry. And another extra benefit of making it more of a battle to beat a higher tier monster with a lower tier monster in a Wyvern Ride is that currently when a monster is being Wyvern ridden, everyone else that's not doing the riding just kind of half AFKs. Yeah, you can try and attack the target that's being beaten up, sure, follow it round, but it moves around a hell of a lot, especially when it's being spam knocked over and slid across the floor. So you normally just sharpen and wait, whereas if you know that the Wyvern riding monster is going to have a struggle against your quest target that it's trying to fight and knock down, well, now you can actually help, because if you do hit the monster that's being attacked, it helps fill up the Wyvern Ride bar and get to the punish. So if you know they're going to need the help, then it encourages you to actually be able to provide it, to chase after the monster being fought, to hit it, and it turns it more into a collective engaging moment as opposed to a kind of like 30-second AFK break in the middle of the fight. Yeah, that's basically what I kind of want to convey here, and it's something that I've been trying to work out how to formulate how I feel for a while now, and I think before we start getting more Sunbreak information, maybe more expansion on any Wyvern Ride changes, it's something I really want to get off my chest. Bottom line, I just think Wyvern Riding would be cooler if the power of the monster that you're on actually matters. At least a lot more than it does now. So yeah, your thoughts? Feed me them. Like if you've enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Please consider supporting the future channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, A good boy.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.